If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Welcome back to Daybreak Live, and David Merlin joins us this morning, illusionist and magician. And David, you've been doing this a while, haven't you, brother?
I started performing magic, I guess. Well, I got into it as a hobby around 1990. I was working at Kimberly-Clark at the time.
Did you just stumble into that, or what?
A friend of mine, Charles Liner from Childersburg,
Yeah.
he was in the Birmingham Magic Club, and he did little shows around, parties and things like that. So I got interested, which I always liked watching David Copperfield and Doug Henning on television when I was young. And Charles brought me into the Magic Club, and I started out doing close-up magic, and next thing you know, I'm more interested in big illusions, and I had carpentry skills so I could build my own props. Mm-hmm. And my first prop, actually, I went to Yoder Cabinets. I had never built anything like that. And Jimmy Yoder's dad worked there, and they had moved from Michigan, I guess, a few years earlier. Well, his dad so happened to work at Abbott's Magic in the city of Colon, Michigan. And he was real shocked when I walked in wanting to build an illusion. And he said, "Come here and look at this." And he brought me over and opened a book, and he had all these illusions that he had built, from when he was, I guess, in his 20s and 30s, 40s. And we built my first illusion right there at Yoder Cabinets. But from then on, I built my own shop, and I've built everything up to this point.
You've been all over the world with this, too.
Yeah, I've lived in California. I moved to California in 1995, and I was there for a few years. I have traveled on cruise ships all over the world. I mean, I've been to places like Bora Bora, Tahiti, all over Mexico, all over Asia. I was actually in Asia for 2 years one time, and got stranded on 9/11 coming back home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You don't get home a whole lot, but you're here for a special event coming up this week.
Yeah, well, I've been here building a new show actually the past 2 years. And my mom's getting older now. She's 85, so I've had to stay in town a whole lot more instead of jet setting all over the world. But yeah, we do have an event coming up on Saturday, May 11th at 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock.
Two shows.
Yeah. We normally do it at the high school, but I wanted to do it a little bit differently this year, and we were going to do it with a fundraiser with First United Methodist Church. So we decided to do it in their big fellowship hall. That way, the view is much better. They have a big stage. I don't know if people have been in there before, but it's a really big stage. It's a nice, intimate room.
And it's important that the setting is right for this.
Oh, yeah. And the new show is going to focus a little bit more on things like telekinesis, telepathy, things that you hear in the world of the paranormal. So I'm still going to be doing the big grand scale illusions, but I'm going to be doing things like reading minds, moving things with my mind, or at least the illusion of it.
I hope you can't read my mind this morning. I hope you don't do that.
But this past summer, I actually, some people might have seen me on America's Got Talent. I was on there a few years ago, and this past summer, they hired me to go to Germany for Germany's Got Talent, or it's called Das Super Talent. So I did that show, and a lot of people don't know it, but the people that have been to the wizarding world of Harry Potter, back in 2000, I actually helped the producers pitch that theme park attraction to Universal Studios when I was living in Las Vegas, and we pitched it in Hollywood.
Wow. What can people expect Saturday?
Saturday, you're going to witness things that you've only seen on television, that you're going to see things happen to the people in the audience. This whole show is kind of a psychological thing with the audience. You're going to see people levitate. You're going to see people from the audience cut into sections. You're going to see vanish. You're going to see, well, I got some surprises. I don't want to give it all away, but it's unlike anything that you've ever witnessed in your life. If you see this stuff on television and you think it's camera tricks, I want you to come to the show. I want you to bring your family, because you're not going to believe some of the things that you see. Have you been to one of my bigger shows?
Mm-hmm. You know, David, I can just imagine some people watching this morning saying, "Oh, come on, David, this can't be."
Yeah, it's unlike anything you've ever seen. I just don't know how to explain it, but people that come to my show, they have low expectations,
Right.
but then they walk out and they're like, I did not expect anything like that. So it's going to be a great time. And they do have tickets on sale right now at First Methodist, and you can get them this week at the main office there. And of course, you can walk up to the door, but I would get them in advance just in case, because
2 shows.
It's 2 shows, but in the past, my shows have usually brought in around 600 people, and the 2 shows combined can hold about 600 people. So I would encourage you to get tickets in advance, just to make sure everything's okay.
So what have you got this morning?
Let's see. I always do, of course, I got my start with close-up magic, bubbles. I'm sure everybody's seen those at home.
Yeah.
If I can blow the bubbles this morning.
Oh my goodness, that never worked for me.
That's a solid.
Whoa. How you do that?
Mind over matter. In my show, I'm also going to do something pretty unique. Let's see, I want to show you something real quick. Is that a real knife?
It is.
Let's check it out.
It is. I use one of those at home.
I'm going to take this knife and this deck of cards. I don't know if they can zoom in on that, but I'm going to try and puncture a hole right in through that deck of cards. Right through.
Yeah.
There we go. Right through that deck of cards. And you can just kind of move that back and forth. That is in there, right?
Oh yeah, it's through there.
Okay. That's right through that deck of cards. Now watch this. Right back out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I told you it was a deck of cards.
You did.
Okay, but the power of suggestion. This is actually a solid steel block. And that's called mind over matter.
That's amazing.
But when you come to my big show, you're going to see experiments like that, but on a larger scale. Mm-hmm. Perhaps imagine my hand going through a piece of steel like that, or through another solid object. So it's going to involve mind over matter, telekinesis, levitation, and anything that you would see in the world of the paranormal.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a team, or is it you, or you got support, or what?
Well, of course, when you travel, sometimes you have to have people helping you with lights and sound and things like that. Mm-hmm. But the new show is basically focusing on the audience. It's not like a magician that walks out on stage with a girl assistant. I want the audience to be the assistants because it makes it even more powerful.
What is one of your favorite shows that you do?
Well, one of the new things I'm doing is I actually come undone from my upper half of my body to the lower half of my body.
Ew.
So we're going to do that at the show on Saturday night and Saturday afternoon.
You can get your tickets. They're available at First Methodist Church in Sylacauga. And 2 shows on Saturday, and David, this guy knows what he's doing, and I've seen his shows, and you saw that this morning, and this is just kind of whetting your appetite a little bit.
Yeah, and if you're on the internet, you can go to davidmerlin.com, and I have videos of some of the things that I've done in the past, some of the bigger scale things, and you can see some stuff from America's Got Talent. I hadn't put the Germany's Got Talent stuff on there yet, but I'm going to do an all-new website this summer. But the one that's up there right now, you're going to get an idea of what I do.
All right, where do you go to get that now?
That's at DavidMerlin, MERLIN.com.
Okay. David, is this a ever learning profession?
I'm always learning something new, especially when I go to Las Vegas. I mean, I'm friends with a lot of the magicians that I'm good friends with David Copperfield's manager, and I've met Copperfield several times, and we're always exchanging ideas. And the thing in my field is you have to keep reinventing yourself and coming up with new methods. That's why I'm kind of getting away from the pack with my paranormal idea, because so many people are they're intrigued by these television shows with the ghosts and everything. And of course, I don't claim to have any supernatural powers whatsoever. It's all illusion. But when you see it, it's going to appear very, very real.
I bet kids love it too.
The kids love it, but I think the parents love it even more. I mean, my show's for kids 5 years old to 100 years old.
Yeah.
And when I do the cruise ships, a lot of the passengers are elderly people, and they just, they can't get enough of it. So, and I'll probably go back and do a little bit of the cruise market, but my big goal is to get my own show in a place like Savannah, Georgia, maybe Nashville. I'm trying to get away from the Las Vegas crowd because the market's saturated.
Wow. David Merlin's our guest this morning, illusionist and magician and entertainer. This guy's good, and he's been doing this a long time, and we're very fortunate to have him for a show here in Sylacauga coming up Saturday. You don't want to miss it over at First Methodist Church. 2 shows, 3 and 7, is that right?
3 o'clock and 7 o'clock, and my opening act is going to be Patrick Barnett, the up-and-coming new singer.
Yeah. Kalijah Idol.
Kalijah Idol. I think Patrick's, 16 years
he's
old?
been on this show. He's very talented.
Yeah, Patrick's very, very good, and I'm going to try to hook him up with some connections that I have, because they're possibly wanting me back on America's Got Talent, not this season, but next season, with this new concept that I got. But yeah, Patrick's great. So he's gonna open the show. He's gonna do maybe 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna do about 1 hour 15 myself. So it's an 1.5-hour show.
All right, fantastic. Look forward to that on Saturday. David, always a pleasure. Thank you for coming by this morning.
I appreciate it.
More Daybreak just ahead.